Hey everyone, this is Vil. So this video is going to be basically the ultimate guide of all of the tools and software you need to create a drop servicing business. I'm not just going to tell you about all of the tools. I'll show you how you can create your drop servicing website, where you find freelancers, how you manage freelancers, so on and so forth. I will have a link down below in the description with a full list of everything that I mentioned in this video, and the list is always going to be updated, so whenever you check out the list, it's going to be the best tools that I mentioned for that specific task. By the way, I did contact these companies and I do have special discounts for everything that I am mentioning and some bonuses as well, so check out the links down below in the description. Also, I do have another channel where I review a lot of these tools in detail, so I will leave a link down below as well if you want to check out review of a certain software. And I do a giveaway every single week where I give out one of my courses completely for free, so just leave a comment down below to enter the competition. Now let's jump straight into the video. So the first thing that you need to do is we need to create our drop servicing website, and it's not as simple as you might think because there are a few different options. So first of all, what we can do is we can create a website on WordPress. We can also choose an e-commerce solution, or we can use a landing page builder. So the first option is WordPress, and when it comes to WordPress, why I like WordPress is because out of all these options, I think WordPress is the most customizable. If you use the correct theme, you can really customize pretty much almost anything, all the little margins, all of those things, how your website looks, you can customize everything, and that can be very important if you're creating landing pages where you are selling your services. It's important to have good design that sells well. Also, this is actually the cheapest solution because basically all you need is WordPress hosting, and there are different options for hosting. Again, I will leave some links down below, but you can start as cheap as $4 per month. So what is really the catch if it's most customizable and it's the cheapest? The catch is that probably this is the biggest learning curve compared to other solutions. I have done WordPress for many years now, so for me, honestly, it seems pretty simple, but I have heard from a lot of people that it is a little bit more complicated, at least compared to other solutions. I would say that don't get scared too quick, have a look into it. Even if you're not tech savvy, you don't need to write any code or anything like that, so I don't think it's crazy complicated or anything, but it might be a little bit more complex to start out with compared to the two other options. Also, another thing what I personally dislike about WordPress is their e-commerce solution, so I think it could be just a little bit better, and the checkout process is honestly just a little bit ugly. However, at the same time, I do have to say that there are ways how you can change it and how you can overcome that, but that just means a little bit of extra work. And also, you can start out with free themes and free builders and all of that, but I would really advise to invest in a good professional theme that is going to save you a lot of time if you go with WordPress. So the next option for you is to use an e-commerce solution, and there are a lot of different e-commerce solutions, but the most popular, which you might have already heard about, is Shopify. So Shopify starts from $29 a month, plus you pay 2% on this plan. You pay 2% transaction fees if you're not using Shopify payments, but you're using some different payment processing system. So it is a lot more expensive than WordPress. However, the plus on this is that if you're selling your services, especially as packages, you're almost selling them as products, and Shopify is really built out specifically for e-commerce, and they have a lot of apps and things like that, so it is a little bit easier to use this for e-commerce specifically. Also, when it comes to just the interface itself, Shopify has really made it very simple, and I will, as much as I like WordPress. I will admit that Shopify, for complete beginners, I think Shopify is probably easier to use than WordPress. The big downside for me is that Shopify is not as customizable as the other two solutions. Yes, you do have some apps that you can use that allow you to have sort of a drag and drop builder for your pages. However, still, it is not as customizable as, let's say, WordPress. You really are still restricted. So that is one downside. And also you do need to pay for these apps monthly fees. So that is going to add up as well. Okay, so the last option you have are landing page builders. You have, again, a lot of different options. I will leave some of my recommendations, but it really depends. You have some landing page builders that have just the basic features where you can create a simple landing page and opt in and all of that, or you have some landing page builders that have pretty much everything that you will need to create a complete sales funnel. So if you're going to choose a landing page builder, again, it really depends which one you choose, but I would say as a minimum, it's going to start from at least $50 a month to it can be something like a couple $100s a month. The cool thing with landing page builders is that they have a lot more tools compared to WordPress or Shopify. You have your sales funnels, you have order bumps already all built and upsells, all of that, so you don't really need anything extra. You have already everything built in, and you have your drag and drop builder, your opt-ins, all of those things. So it makes it just very simple. If you don't want to spend a lot of time learning how to do all of this with WordPress or how to do all of this with Shopify, this already has everything in one place, and it is really a very convenient system. So really the downside for this, I would say, is just that it is a more expensive option. When it comes to comparing landing page builders with Shopify, I would say it's not necessarily more expensive, because if you want to have all of these extra features, if you want to create sales pages and all of that, with Shopify, you are going to be using different apps, and that is going to add up, so it might equal it out. However, when it comes to WordPress, WordPress is definitely going to be a cheaper option. So just to mention, when it comes to checkout, there are a few different options that you can also use. This is not necessarily something that you use instead of the options that I already mentioned before, but this is something that you might incorporate together, especially if you're using WordPress. You might use one of these things as well. So first of all, you go digital product platforms. So what this means is these are platforms that allow you to accept payments and deliver digital products right there and then. So what you could do, for example, if you have your WordPress website, you could use one of the digital product platforms and you could accept payments through this platform and send out whatever you're selling through this platform automatically. Another thing is online forms, and there is actually one online form provider where you can accept payments completely for free. I think it's up to 10 payments that you can accept free. However, you do have to keep in mind that sending your customers to this form might be a little bit strange experience, but it's just something that I wanted to mention to you so you know that that is an option as well, and perhaps you will find some creative way to use it. Talking about creative ways, another thing what you can use is online course platforms. So there is one online course platform where you can create an account completely for free, and you can sell courses completely for free, which in this case would be actually your services. So you could enroll your customers, your clients, as students in your school, and then through that you're selling them services. So something just to think about, an interesting creative way how you can work with your clients. All right, so once we have our website, then we need to find our freelancers, and there are a few different ways how you can do that as well. So first of all, we have such websites as Fiverr. Then we have websites such as Freelancer or FREEUP, basically a marketplace for freelancers. And then we have websites such as ONLINEJOBS.PH. So first of all, let's look at Fiverr. Fiverr, I would say, is a place that has a very conveniently packaged services. So really you can just go on Fiverr, find the service, sell that exact service, and you don't really need to think a lot of how to package those services yourself because everything is already packaged for you. When it comes to price, honestly, from my experience, it depends. You can find some services on Fiverr that are priced really well and you can put in your own margin, and some of the services are a little bit more expensive and it's not really going to make sense to drop service from Fiverr those services and put on your margin on top. Another thing about Fiverr is that some of these services can be a little bit limiting, because if you want to sell a certain service to your client and then the services on Fiverr, they're similar but they're not exactly the same, then you can try to contact the person and ask if they would do something a little bit different, like a custom order. However, that is a little bit of a problem you might run into. The next option is to use such websites as Freelancer or FREEUP. So let's say for Freelancer, you can just post your own jobs and have freelancers to apply for them, or you can actually search for freelancers as well. For FREEUP, it's a little bit different concept because they actually find the 1% best workers out there and they assign them to you, and then you still can choose which one you want to do. But in essence, I wanted to group these two options together because they are kind of similar. You're using a platform to work with a freelancer. So both of these options are really good places to find freelancers. You have a lot of reviews, you have references, all of that. Let's say if you use FREEUP, if you're not happy with work, they are going to actually replace the freelancer for you and all of that. So you have your support and you have escrow payments. So again, if you're not happy about something, you can just trust the platform to keep the payments for you and only pay out the freelancer once you are actually in agreement and once you're happy with the work. On the downside, because you are getting all of the support, you are going to be paying fee for platforms, and sometimes you might not see the fee itself because it's not you who's paying the fee, it's the freelancer who's paying the fee. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter whether it's you or it's the freelancer who's paying the fee, because there's still going to be a margin. If someone is charging, let's say, $100 on Freelancer, if you would contact them directly and you would work directly with them, then perhaps they would only be charging $80. So it really depends which platform you're using and even what kind of jobs they are, but I would say more or less on average it's going to be somewhere around 20% fees. So the last option is something like ONLINEJOBS.PH, and there are a few different options, but what this does, how this is different, is that you only need to pay one time. So you pay one time and then you can have your job posting and you have people applying for it, and you can choose the people from the application, and then you are working directly with those people. So on these websites you can find freelancers for very cheap price and you don't have any more fees. However, at the same time, you don't have any support from the platform, so it's really down to you and the freelancer to work things out. So you really only get that first posting and then you see some of the references and ratings of the freelancers on the platform. So if you want just a really quick gig done for you, then probably you're better off with the first two options. But if you want to find someone that's going to do a lot of continuous work for you, then this is probably the best option, and you will be able to put on higher margins compared to the two other options before. The next tool that I would say is essential for every drop servicing business is to have email marketing. So you're going to be using this for a few different reasons. First of all, you will want to give out lead magnets on your website so you can get your potential customers' emails and then you can retarget them. So you can set up follow-up sequences and then you can basically nurture your leads for them to actually be more willing to purchase your services, and you can just have direct selling through email as well. The beautiful thing about this is also that it can be all automated using different email marketing softwares. So you just create your framework once and then it just runs automatically for your clients, unless you decide to have some random campaigns, but most of the time you can just have things set up to be done automatically. There are a lot of different email marketing softwares out there to choose from, but there are some that actually allow you to start out completely for free. You don't need to pay anything up to maybe 1,000 or even 2,000 subscribers, which after at that point hopefully you are making enough money to be able to afford email marketing software. But after that, it's going to depend on your list, how many subscribers you have. So it might be anywhere from $10, $30 to hundreds of dollars, and so on and so forth. Again, I will leave links for my favorite softwares down below. Alright, so now let's talk working with freelancers. So first of all, the first thing you will need, and not everyone might be doing this, but I definitely advise to do this from the very get-go. Get a project management software. So basically just a software that's going to help you to stay organized, and everyone knows exactly what they need to do, and you know at what point everyone is, so everyone's on the same page. You can find some of these softwares completely for free to start out with, so you don't need to be investing any money, so there's really no reason why you shouldn't be using one. Another thing that I really advise to do as well is have a video recording software. So basically just so you can record your screen and show exactly what you want your freelancers to do. So this just helps out with the whole management aspect. It's just easier for people to see, to understand what needs to be done, and it actually just saves a lot of time rather than just writing everything down. And lastly, you need to choose a good channel, how you're going to communicate with your freelancers. So a lot of times you might want to be using something like Slack, or you can also use something like Zoom or Skype. It really depends on you, what you prefer the most. Next thing you will need, and this is really important, I would say this is a complete must, you need a time tracking software. So basically a software that's going to track time. It's going to show you activity, so basically how much people are using their mouse, how much they're typing on their keyboard and all of that kind of stuff. And it's going to take screenshots, so basically automatically takes screenshots, a certain amount of screenshots every 10 minutes. And what this really does, first of all, obviously it lets you understand what exactly your freelancers are doing. Are they just chilling on Facebook half of the time and not doing the work, or are they actually working? But even more than that, it allows you to estimate exactly how much time was spent on certain things, and then you can have good estimates of how much you should be charging your clients, what are your profit margins, and all those kind of things. So really, I would say this is going to save up a lot of time for you, and because you also have those screenshots, you can also see what exactly is happening. If someone is doing something that you don't think they should be doing, or they're not doing things in the right way, then you can contact them and let them know, because you are working virtually, so you can't just stand behind someone's shoulder and see what they're doing, and this helps you out to deal with that problem. Another tool that not everyone knows about but is really good tool to use is TransferWise. So when you are paying your freelancers, most of the time those freelancers are going to be from a different country and they're going to be using different currency. So what TransferWise does, it's a service basically that allows you to transfer money with much better exchange rates compared to your bank. And obviously you need to check with your bank, but I'm almost guaranteed it's going to be much better. I have different banks with different currencies in different countries, and it's way better than any of my banks, and it also provides you lower payment fees. So if you want, you could actually just, let's say if you hire someone from the Philippines, you could just tell them that you are going to pay them in their currency, and then you use TransferWise, and in this case then it becomes a little bit cheaper for you to be sending them money. Or you can just charge people in dollars and just tell your freelancers, hey, I'm not going to send you dollars through this bank account, but I'm going to use TransferWise, so you are actually going to get more money from me. So it actually benefits them even more working with you, and for you it's lower fees as well, so it's really a win-win situation for both parties. Alright, so those were all of the main tools, but there are some other tools that I would say you might want to consider as well. So first of all, having a live chat. So again, you can find live chats that don't cost any money, so there's no reason not to have one. And when someone comes on your page and they have some questions, this can help out a lot to capture those leads that might be lost otherwise. Another cool software is Email Finder. So if you want to do an outreach and you want to find someone's email, sometimes it might be a little bit tricky, but there are different services where you can just type in a domain name and they're going to find email services for you. So very convenient, saves up a lot of time. Then depending how you're doing your marketing, you might want to use some social media scheduling softwares, and you might also want to use appointment scheduling software. So it basically just makes it very simple. When someone comes on your website, with a couple of clicks, they can just schedule a call with you and they don't need to be sending you messages and then go in between the emails trying to arrange a meeting. Rather than that, this is all automated, and again, you can start out using this for free. And lastly, if you will need some designs or something for your business, if you don't already know the tool Canva has a lot of tools for creating different types of designs, and it is very simple to use. So again, I will leave links for all of this below. So I do hope that you found this video useful. As I said, this should be the ultimate list of all of the tools that you will need, but if there's something that I forgot, just check out the link below. There's a list of all of the different tools, and it's always going to be updated to what tools are the best at the time when you are checking. I also have discounts for all of these things, so if you want to grab a discount, check out the links down below. If you found this video useful, make sure to press thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel, put on those notifications so you see every single time when I upload a new video. Stay awesome, and I will see you soon.